Hi, welcome to the small shed. Today I want to unbox some of the Christmas presents. See you in a minute. Now I know we're fairly deep into January, but with all the 12 days of Christmas videos and one or two other things going on, I've not had a chance really to have a look at anything that I got for Christmas and share that with you. So I just want to have a quick look at some of the things I've got. Basically I've bought them myself for other people to give me because that's the way I find best for getting what you want. Otherwise you have to sit there looking pleased with a set of socks or a book that you've already read. So I tend to sort of either do a list or actually go out and buy the stuff. A couple of them I actually bought for myself earlier in the year and just haven't got round to even looking at yet. They hadn't even been wrapped up, so we'll have a quick look and see what we've got. Now first off, I bought this I think in October and I've not even taken it out of its packaging yet. This is the plunge base for the Katsu router. I've always had a bit of a thing with the normal base that you get supplied with it for the cheapest version. In that if you're actually doing any routing and you want to start a cut, you've effectively got to start it at an angle and push it down into the wood on the angle or drop it down vertically, and that's never really, to me, a precision job. And when I found that you can get the plunge base for them, I thought I'd invest, but as I say, I haven't even unwrapped this yet, but that looks quite a nice bit of kit that will take the router. It's not as accessible looking at it at first impressions as the other one, in that once it's down it's quite difficult to see in, so for close-up work, hand routing, probably not going to be used. More likely to be used with a guard as a running along for straight routes and things. And I've also got a possibility to put this upside down in the MW1000 workbench as a little mini router to have out and about with me. That will come up in the future, but yeah, it seems to be reasonable enough bit of kit. Probably wants a bit of lubrication on there. It's typical cheap Chinese alloy and plastic, but it seems reasonably substantial. There's a bit of a dust shield at the back, but not much other, no facility to collect dust. But we've got a depth stop there and setting to lock the thing, so we'll have a play with that. But that's, as I say, a very long standing one that's never been out of its box yet. Next up, which again has been unwrapped once purely to test it before I bought it, but other than that not at all, is the Ryobi finger sander. This isn't something I would normally have thought of buying, little file sanders, but one of the guys at Men in Sheds had a Black & Decker one the other day before Christmas that he was using, and I was impressed with that. And I've also been watching a guy on YouTube restoring Mark III Cortinas who swears by them for filing up welds, spot welds and things. It's easy to get a precision bit of sanding with it. It's basically a belt sander, but it uses a 1/2 inch wide belt. and rather than just buy a mains operated one, I thought it was worth sticking with the Ryobi One family and get the battery operated one. It's a little bit more expensive, but it does mean that if I am out and about anywhere, it will be useful. I bought some more belts of various grips. I think there were 3 or 4 in the pack with it, but I've got some various grip belts here that I've just had as well. So I'm assuming unlock the belt, put the belt on it. I think the belts are relatively expensive for the time that you probably get off with them, because there's not a lot of sandpaper in there, but I'm hoping it will be a useful tool. Belts actually seem quite tight, but I suppose they've got to. Then you tighten the belt up. Don't know what that does, but we'll get onto that when we read the instructions. And battery on. I think there's a lock on that. That's it. Little lock on it there, and it's for just fine detail sanding. Seems to work well enough. Useful, but again, yet another tool, and therefore something I've got to find space for, but I'm hoping it will be a useful bit of kit. Now, when I was ordering the belts, I'd got an order on with Axminster, and there was one other thing that I wanted that I bought from them. When I went down to Yandles earlier on in the year, last year, I bought a load of Merca Abranet pads, which I've been using and find them brilliant. A bit of a game changer for me, as an abrasive. And I bought a whole load of different grips, loads of different pads, and I've used them a lot with the lathe. The wood turners use them a lot, but they are also very good general sandpapers, and with the holes in the back it sort of clears itself, doesn't clog. I found the other day that they do a pad which has got the Velcro teeth on it, which in theory will stick to it like that, and that gives you a hand sanding pad. Using these sheets, much more convenient than doing it by hand with your fingers, because you tend to put grooves in where your fingers are pressing. That's a soft pad. It will contour, but it also works well. And then you can just clean the pad out, clean the Abranet out, and swap it. That looks like being one of the most useful things I've got, I think, or will have, we'll see. And at the same time, while I was doing that, I thought I might as well go the whole hog and move over to Abranet for the random orbital sander. So I've bought some of the discs to go on the random orbital. And of course you obviously don't need them with holes in, because they've actually got a hole all the way through them. And those now should, in theory, when I get the right side, just pop on there, and we can then be fully Abranetted up sanding. And the beauty of that is that I can get some suction on it and clean them as I go. With the hand sanding, I'll probably just have to use the downdraft table. So not a lot in terms of presents, but hopefully quite a lot of useful equipment there. One other thing arrived during the holiday, which has been about 3 or 4 months as a saga in the getting, and that's, if I can find it, the replacement laser cutter. You may have seen an earlier video in which I started on that and found I was getting nowhere because it, that's the old one, it wasn't working properly. This one is identical, but they have upgraded the software, they've upgraded the head, and hopefully now I've only done one print with it, and that was that one, but you can see on that instead of previously I was getting horizontal lines across where it wasn't quite switching off properly, I've now got that working properly. So we've now got the KK Moon laser back, although it's not branded as KK Moon on that one, with a replacement. So hopefully in a week or two's time I can get a little bit more testing done on that, find out what it will and won't cut, and I'll let you know and keep you up to date with that in the future. So there we are, a few presents that we've had. Hopefully they'll be used in building things and I can bring those to you in future weeks' time. That's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you next week. We'll try and get something different, and I'll see you then. Bye.